Hi everyone, my name is Carolyn and I'm from Known as Nutty Crafts. And today we're going to make a Halloween wreath. We're going to use this base which has these little purple balls. This tinsel here is actually a black, but it looks like it has maybe a shimmer maybe of the purple in there. So this has 18 ties on it. This came from Craft Outlet. We're going to use this metal mask today, and this came from Calise.com. We have some embellishments that we may use. I have some little masks and hats here that we may tie on, just to make it a little fun in there. So we'll put these back over here. Our ribbon today, this is a 1.5 inch ribbon. Both of these are. You can use whatever colors. I was just picking up a bunch of different colors that were in here. Of course, we have to have our Day of the Dead masks in there. And I just picked up, I thought this was just so intricate, you know, how you get all the squirrely lines on there. So that's why I picked these two. And these are cut at 13 inches each. And we're going to do that. And then we'll make a bow later on. We're also going to use, now I've already pre-cut these. This one's 12 inch mesh, this one's 10 inch. These two are 12 inch and this is 10 inch. I cut these at 10 inches wide and we're going to group them together. You know, we just rolled them up like a little ball. I made that. Our base part of the wreath is going to be this mesh, which I think is really pretty. Kind of has all the colors, the same colors that we're using in those little, you know, curls there. So let's get started. So in starting with this, we got to go ahead and we're going to have to tie off the base of this as we go around. So what I like to use is cable ties. So I'm going to pull two of those out of my little bag here. And I'm going to lay my outside of these little tinsel ball things down because we're going to start with the inner row first. So I'm going to open these up to make it a little bit easier for me to find and then trying to deal with it as we go. And I'm going to take this here and I'm going to gather it up just a little bit on the side, coming down the side. All right, just like that. And I'm going to find a spot where it's close to another side, just like if you can see that. I don't want to do it where I have to stretch across and waste any more mesh than I have to. So we're going to do the poof method on this, and I'm just going to tie this tight here. Then what I do, I take my zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie this baby, and it just makes sure that it stays in there. This zip tie doesn't want to work. So let's get another one out. Usually sometimes you may find the zip tie that doesn't want to, you know, stay tight. There we go. And we just clip that off. I always clip this off so it's facing in the wreath so that nobody will get cut. Now this wreath is, you know, high off the, you know, here, so you don't have to worry if it's facing down or anything like that, but I always try to turn it inside just for that reason. And I'm just going to trim this up just a little bit, just like that. So let's get this baby going. And on this one here, I am going to do 8 inch poofs on the inside, because I want to make sure I have enough. And I think with our pearls, we should be fine. There goes our sign. Now, you can find pretty much any kind of mesh. Now, you could do this in a black base and do those same curls that I'm going to put in there if you want to, which is fine. You can alternate colors, maybe do this on the top and a black on the bottom. If you don't have enough mesh, you can think of doing it that way as well. So just be creative on it. All right. We're almost done going around the top, and then I'm going to show you how we add it to the bottom. Now I won't open these poofs till I have the whole wreath done as far as putting the mesh on, just because it gets in my way, and that's just a me thing. All right, so now this is where we started right here. So I'm going to open this up. Oh, that's okay. We can glue that baby right back on. Put that on right there. And twist it. So that might happen to you when you do these. Now you can get styrofoam little balls, and you can go ahead and attach those onto the end of your chenille stems too, which makes it really pretty if you want to, oops, which I do a lot of too, because it just gives a little extra something. Most of the time what a lot of us do is go ahead and we'll curl this down or cut it. Just want to get my glue gun pad. So we'll just set that off to the side right now. And I'll go ahead, and what I do, I'll take the little styrofoam ball, I'll take my hot glue gun, like kind of make a hole, squirt some glue, and then I'll glue it right back on. These have little holes in it already, so it makes it easy. We just put a little bit of glue and we stick it right back on. Easy peasy. Now this is where we started. So remember I said, because I wanted something close by, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one right here, and I'm going to bring my mesh right down in there and tie it off. And then these poofs, we're going to make these at 10 inches. There we go. My little twist tie was going around the other way. So let me open these up a little bit. Put my other ones up top here so we don't get these in the way. Because sometimes, I don't know if you've done it, I've grabbed the wrong ones. I have done that, and you don't realize it, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm missing something. What's wrong here? Why is it not right? So, and these are nice and long, which is what's nice about it too, because it gives you a lot so you can tie if you're adding a lot of embellishments on here. All right. And this, you could sit while you're watching TV, or you have something maybe in the oven. This can go really quick. Now, of course, the other thing, you see how mine is folding under? Because I have it in my Ultimate Mesh Roller, it kind of automatically does that. And I just watch it and I'll grab it to make sure that my ends are folded under. Because we want the poof on top and the ends underneath. If that makes sense. We like the pretty side. All right, we're coming to the end here. Now I don't have a lot of this mesh left on this roll. So we're going to add a third roll and see if we have enough to do that, okay? So remember, this is where I came down, and this is where it's going to end, right there. So I'm going to open my tie back up, push this down in there, and do it, tie it. Now, I don't have that much left over on this roll, and it's not going to be enough to keep for another project. So what I do is, this is called like the third row, so to speak. I'm going to fill this in here. So what I'm going to do is skip, and I'm going to zigzag this. So I'm going to skip my first, where my chenille stems are, and I'm just going to bring it around, and I'm going to grab it on this one. So I'll open it up, grab it right in there. skip one. And then I'm going to bring this one on the bottom one. Open it back up. Now you can make these as poofy as you want in here. If you want it really poofy, a little bit tighter. I'm just trying to see, make sure I can get all the way around with this. And then if I have leftover, I can go back after I've done that, and I can go ahead and make it more poofy or less poofy, just so I can use up the entire roll. And I'm kind of zigzagging as I'm going, as I'm doing it. So this is the one on the bottom. And we are back to the beginning already. So now I can go back and I can adjust this because I do have a lot left over. And I can make it a little bit more poofy. And poofy, but just like that. That's all I have to do. I can open the next one. Make it a little bit poofy. And just adjust my mesh. This is where I left off, so we'll just undo this one. And here we go. See, I almost grabbed the wrong one there. This one goes down at the bottom. And I'm still going to have more left over, but it's not going to be anything to keep. So I'm going to finish this one up top. And I'll cut this off. I'm going to do the same way I started it. I'm going to take a zip tie. Hopefully this one will work, right? Come on. And these are about 8 inches long, so you can use something a little smaller if you want. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to do it right on this bar right here, okay? Do the same thing, just zip tie it. Cut it off. And cut our excess. And I usually leave about 1 inch. And see, this is all I had left out of this, so it's not much to keep. All right, so let's fix our one little ball here. This is the one that was missing. It fell off, so we're going to put some glue. And we're going to stick that baby right back in that hole. Here we go. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and start poofing. Pull my balls up and the ones out so I don't mix them up when I'm poofing. Again, this is just a me thing that I like to do. And now we'll go around. We're not going to touch anything on that middle row that we added in there. We're just going to take the top row and we're going to pull out our poops. As you start in the middle and just go like that. Poof them out. And again, I'm starting in the middle and I pull it out and I look for where my ends are. See, there's my end. And I just kind of cuff that little bit underneath. Sometimes my ends get stuck together. There we go. And just poof it out. And by doing this third row, if your mesh is really thin, too, this is not, but it also helps to fill it in too. There we go. There's my end. Gotta find you. Sometimes I can find the ends right away or the sides, and it makes it easier. And then other times it does not. All right, now we're going to poof the bottom. And poofing it, like I said, I'm just pulling, I'm finding the two ends. Here's one, and here's the other right here. Oops, you can't see because of the black. And I'm just pulling them apart. There's my two ends, and pulling them apart, and I stick my fingers underneath to give it a little poof. And that's all that we're doing. All the way around. I think I'm back to the beginning. Now on this, there's 10 poofs on the outside and 8 on the inside. So that gives you a total of 18 places we're going to put our ribbons. So let's go ahead and let's get our curls going. Now, like I said earlier, these two are 12-inch length on the side, and this one's a 10-inch. You can mix them, and I'm using these 3 colors because it was the same colors that were in here. And all I did was I cut them 10 inches long, and then I just rolled it up like a little donut or a little yodel. And I'm going to start these on the bottom. I'm not opening my twist tie. I'm just twisting that around it. And I put the little one in the middle just because. Now, you can do these so the same colors facing the same way. Like I have orange here, so I don't want orange next to orange, so I make sure that I'm doing them. But if you don't mind, then it's fine. Do it the other way. It doesn't matter. I'm just one of those people. I want all the same color facing the same way. All right. So we're going to put in 18 of these. Now when we get to the ribbon part, I don't cut 18 of them because if I'm going to put a bow in here, I want to make sure I have a space to put the bow rather than putting it on top of a ribbon that you're not going to see because the bow's covering it. Now, all of what I'm doing on these, to hold these together, I have just used, you can use clothespins, you can use these little clips like this, and that's all I've done in pre-making these. It just makes it a little bit easier, so that you're not sitting here watching me roll. Oh my God, 18 times 3, 36 ties. That would drive anybody crazy. Get some more. And sometimes on these, I will cut 1 or 2 short of what I'm supposed to have just to make sure I'm not over-cutting. Because I hate it when I have one extra piece and you're like, oh no. So hopefully everybody's doing well today. It's nice weather. All right, so that's our bottom row is all done. See, look how nice and full that's coming. So let's go ahead and start our inner row. same thing. I'm going to keep them going in the same direction, so green, purple, orange. But you can mix it up. That one was trying to sneak in there. All right. And these are really pretty. Like even if you hang them on the outside of your screen door, the mesh does pretty well. It dries pretty good. And holds its thing, holds its, you know, shape. And I have a storm door, so I'll put some in between the doors. I'll hang some on the outside of my storm door. It just depends what I'm doing or which wreath I want to hang up there. If you have an overcovering, that's better, because that really will protect your wreath. I unfortunately don't, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. Got this one and one more. And the last one of these going in. And see how pretty it is with the little balls out there? So now we're going to take our tails. Now, like again, I chose small tails. This has a lot going on as it is, so I thought the small tails would work just fine. You can do a 2.5 inch with the 1.5, or 2 2.5s with the 1. It's really whatever your design will be. But on this particular design, this is what I'm choosing. I'm just grabbing all my balls of my stems together so that I have them together. Okay, good. I do. So 13 inches. These are cut both at 13 inches. It doesn't matter if you want to put the purple on top or the white. This particular one, the white. I'm going to put the white on top. I'm going to fold it in half and pinch it right there. That tells me if that's where the halfway point is. I'm going to crinkle this together, and I'm going to face these, kind of looks like a V. So when they face down in here, it will kind of come down. And then I'll just twist this in. And then I'll separate them. Now in separating them, I'm going to show you 2 different ways we can do it. This is going to be one way. Let me put another one in so you can see. And then you decide. Because sometimes once you put it in there, oh, let's fix that little one. You may want it to go a different way. So let's get these little ball back on there. There we go. So, now, in this one, I have them going opposite on an angle. So, I'm doing this upside down. So this white's up top here with the purple below, and here it's the opposite. You can also do it this way, where you keep the same color. So like in this case, the purple's on the bottom, okay, with the white on top. It doesn't matter. Or you could reverse it the other way. Put the white on the bottom, the purple on the top. It really is your choice. I'm going to keep these opposites, just to make it a little bit more fun. Now, in doing this, I'm not pulling these so that it's like a big X, okay? I'm not doing it so it looks like that. I'm doing it so that they still kind of like together facing that way. They're a little bit facing down too, because when you have your wreath on the side, you don't want everything facing up towards this way. You want people to see the side too. So you want to make sure it looks pretty on the sides. So let's get these guys going. Oops. Now your mesh does fray a little bit, but that's okay. I don't do anything with it till I'm totally done with the project. When I go hang it up, just before I take pictures, I always take scissors with me, and I'll go and look and see where I need to trim off any little pieces of the mesh that is hanging or fraying. And there's no way to stop that, to be honest. It's gonna fray. That's just life. That is life. Okay. So let's get this going here. And what I'm doing with these, once I put them in here, I take them and I kind of curl them back a little bit so they're hanging down. So they're not just, you don't want your, when you're doing it, you don't want this sticking straight out. If you give it a little bit of a curl, it just makes it look prettier. And it conforms it a little bit more into the wreath itself. Because this is a circle. Oops. So I'll show you how this looks. Let me finish the base here. Oops. Extra piece here. Oops. So you can see how it looks. And the little balls and all, I'm just going back and I'm just twist tying them a couple more times, since I'm not going to bend them down or anything. So I just make them a little bit tighter, more twist on it. Okay. Two more on here, and then we can head to the top, which makes it a little bit easier for you to see than down here, because these are facing more towards me than you. One more. Go. Okay, so this is the bottom. I don't know if you could see it all, but we'll do the top, so and that will be better for you to see. Again, folding it in half, the ribbons, pinching it where it is, and placing it in the tie. And like I said, I just twist tie these up, and we're doing opposites on these colors. And then we just kind of curl them back just a little bit like that. We'll go all the way around. There's 8 of these on the top. I'm not opening, again, I'm not opening up my ties. I'm just sticking this right in there and twisting it a couple of times so that it stays. And then we open these up. And see how I curl them back, just like by going like that. Just a few more, I think 4 more is it? because remember I said I was leaving one out, because depending how I do the sign will depend if I put a bow up at the top or how I'm going to do it. And I can always cut more of this. I'll show you the ribbon we're going to do for a bow when we get there. And what's nice about Halloween is that it has a lot of colors. And they're bright and sparkly, which is what's kind of nice. See, like I said, folding it in half, opening up the tie, twisting it in, and then just spreading the two colors out. And we're doing these on an angle, so it's opposites. And this is our last one of this, which should leave me just one. Yep, it does. And there you have it. That's your wreath base. Okay. Now I got to decide. Let me go get our sign, since our sign fell off the table. At least it didn't go far. So now I have to decide where I want to put the sign. If I want the sign in the middle or off to the side, because this is where I left the spot for the bow. Now I could put it in the middle. And I have these little guys that I can, you know, just dab around here as little fillers, which I think might look kind of cool. We'll have to see. I think we'll put them in the middle. I think that's the best spot for it, don't you think? So now we got to put something on the back here so that we can attach our skeleton face. So we have what we call, these are cable mounts, cable mounts. There's a 1-inch square, and they're using cable because they have holes on all 4 sides here, so you can run things through it. So I have, since that was black, I have, oops, I should have a 4th one, my pipe cleaners here, because that's how we're going to attach it. Now these are peel and stick. But we're going to use this product. It's called Rapid Fuse. It just gives it a little extra adhesive towards it to hold it. And this bonds really quick too. You know what? I might be able to do this in 2. Because this is not a heavy mask. Now this has that little doohickey up here, which I might use that. But I have nothing down below, so we have to use it. So we're just going to put some of this on here, and this adheres to things really quick. Yeah, I'll use this little piece up here. So I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to thread it through. You can, since I know my wreath is really poofy, I'm just going to take this in just a little bit and I'm just going to go ahead and tie this off, twist tie it right there. And I'll do the same on this. Thread it through here. See how it threads right through? And I'm going to tie it off. Let's get our wreath back. Now this is where we're going to put the bow. So I got to decide, do I want it, I think we'll put it, I'm going to turn it upside to me so I can see. Yeah, I think we'll put them right down there. Might slide it down just a little, we'll see. And all I'm going to do is take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to thread it right through all this mesh. One. So I'm just going to wrap it around. I'm just going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm just going to wrap it around this just a few times just to hold it for right now until I get the other piece in. Sorry about that. Let's get the other piece in. Now if you want your curls to be on top, back in, because I can go back and I can tighten it all once I've gotten it where I want it to be. Looks like a little hairdo. All right, so let's go ahead and create our bow so that we can see how we want to display everything else on here, okay? So we're going to fix all these ribbons. Missing one. I always like to bring my ribbons, you know, some of them around the face or the sign, just so that it's a part of it and doesn't look like it's just sticking on top. And we'll fix it because we're going to put that bow right here. So today we're going to use the Easy Bow Maker. Now I've already pre-selected the ribbons that I'm going to use. So this is going to go on my bottom, then this. I'm going to bring that purple back in here, our Day of the Dead face, and then I got some funky eyeballs. And the reason why I chose this one, the eyes on there are actually orange, so I thought that would be kind of fun in there. All right, so this is what we're going to make our bow out of today. So let me put these back over here, and we'll start with our first one. Now, depending, again, what kind of bow you want to make, a whimsical bow, a Terry bow, a Lisa bow, it's whatever kind of bow you want to. And I think for this one, it's going to be one of those little whimsical ones. We'll cut all the tails and everything afterwards. I'm only going to make this about 8 inches long. And I'm going to put it in here. Let me get rid of the piece of wire there. And I'm going to make this bow 6 inches. So my loop on this side is going to be 6 inches on this side. So from here to here is 6, from here to here is 6. So your bow is actually going to be about 1 foot wide. Okay. And we're going to do this kind of like, whoops, wrong way. Let me cut this one first. Opposites. So I have a loop and a tail, and I have a loop and a tail. Okay, so they're going opposite. It's like a big X. Let's put this away so I don't have it rolling across the floor. And now this one's going to do the opposite. So I have a tail here and a loop here, so I'm going to put my tail right here. Now these are thick ribbons, so bear with. And this one, I'm still going to make this at 6 inches here. So we have a tail and a loop. I'm not worried about fluffing it out because we're going to add more, so we'll get a little squish. Here we have a loop with the tail, then it's a tail with the loop, a loop with the tail. Okay? Put this over here because our wreath's going to come back on here. Now I'm going to bring this purple in. And again, we're going to do the opposite again. So this finished with the loop. I'm going to put a tail there. And I'm going to bring this in about 5 inches. Now the size of your loops, it's going to be up to you what you want to do, okay? So there's no right or wrong. It's just up to you. So it's a tail, a loop, and a tail. The opposite here, it's a loop, a tail with a loop on top. Okay. Now we're going to bring back in our skulls, because we have to bring that back in our bow somehow. And this one I'm going to still stay at 5. So we have a tail, loop, finish with the tail on top there, just like that. What's good about this ribbon, it doesn't matter which way you put it, because the skulls are going all different ways. So it doesn't matter if it's upside down or what. All right, and this is going to be our last little spooky guy. Little googly eyes. So I did that last one at 5. I'll just bring this in at probably like 4. Finishes where the bow is. So just make sure where everything is. Oops, that was the wrong way. It's like, wait a minute, this one goes there. There we go, right like that. Bring in another zip tie. And just move this up a little bit. I'm going to take my pipe cleaner right now before I forget, and I'm going to stick it through there. You could do it after you get your zip tie a little tighter, but I'm going to do it now. And I'm going to put my pipe cleaner and my zip tie around. Of course, it would help if I have it going the right way. And just put it through, and you're going to tighten it, not all the way, but just enough so that it holds it in place, enough so you can go ahead and spread your bow out a little bit. Make sure it's the way you want it to be, your loops and your tails, and just spread them out a little bit. We'll spread them out a little bit more, but it's mostly just to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be, because sometimes when you turn it upside down, it can get, you know, caught in there a funky way, and then once you tighten this, you can't change it. All right, pull it as tight as you can. We'll clip that off. And then we have our bow. Now, if I have to extend this, I get these wires here to make it fit. I don't want my bow to sink in and be like this on there. I want it to stay flat. This is just a fun bow. This isn't about anything crazy. Now, you're not going to see that as much in there, but if you're worried about seeing it, pick a color. I think for this one, I think I'm going to take a little bit of the purple. I'm going to cut some of this off. The length is going to be up to you because we're going to tie this around behind it. And you can choose whatever color. Now you don't have to do this part, but I like to take the wire out at this point. Let me get my pliers. And I just pull it out because for me, it just makes it a little bit easier to go ahead and bend this around than working with a stiff wire in there as well. And I just grab the pliers just because it makes it easy to pull it. Now we're not going to save this wire because when it's too thin to use for anything, so I just wad it up and I throw it away. Now what I'm going to do is take this ribbon, I'm going to fold it kind of like in threes. And I'm going to use this to come right down the center of my bow, and I'm going to tie it from behind. And that just gives a little finishing off so you don't see that zip tie. And this is why I wasn't worried about what my bow looked like, because I knew what we were going to be doing, turning it upside down. All right, so see, it just gives a little finish off there in the center. And you can choose whatever color you want to do it in. I chose the purple just to bring the purple back in. But if you wanted to use the orange, you could do the orange as well. And then what I try to do is just spread out my loops and my tails a little bit. And we got to go ahead and dovetail them. Let's do that now. And we can always cut them shorter once I get it on the wreath. Now I like to have them back so you can kind of see the one underneath it. And sometimes I'll start with the bottom and work my way up in cutting these. And what I mean by that is that so you can see the orange ribbon underneath, and you cut the green a little bit shorter so you can see the color that's underneath it. And you just kind of work your way up on it. But if you want to leave some of these longer and all, you can do that. Like I said, there's no real right or wrong to it. It's whatever you feel works best for your project. That was a wonky cut there. There we go. And we'll finish with the orange. Get all these out of the way because you know they're going to stick to our wreath. All right, so see, come out cute. And then, you know, we'll go ahead and bend these up and everything so that they lay right on there. So let's get our wreath back. I didn't want a bow that was going to be so overpowering that you wouldn't see it, our mask. So now we're going to attach this. Now, because I didn't put anything here, I'm just going to twist tie these. Let me put that one back on. Here we go. And I'll just twist tie these, and these particular ones, because you're not going to see it. Now I could use the probably, I guess I could have. And I'm just going to kind of bend these guys down. I'll make them face out this way. Just because you're not going to really see them. We'll take our pipe cleaner. I'll go right around that. And right through the mesh again. without glue on your fingers. Where's my, here it is. It's right there. I see the wire. Sometimes it gets hooked on one little thread of mesh. And then you can't get it through. Oh, that one came through really quick that time. Oh. So we're just going to tighten this just a little and see where we are with it. There's our bow. Oops. Now see, my bow's off to the side here. I don't want it off to that side, so we're going to reposition it. I'm going to grab some of this mesh here, put it through there. There's my other. Okay, let me wrap that one around. We lost one of our ties. There you are. Pull it through. There we go. Let's wrap it around this brace bar here. And what I'll do is I'll cut these, wrap them around. I don't have anything sticking out. Okay. So now we get up something on the other side. Golly. I think what happened, I had grabbed this one the first time. You stay there. Bear with. When you're doing this upside down and backwards, it gets a little crazy. Okay. Where'd you go? Oh, yay, we got it now. There we go. Alrighty, so let's go fix everything up here. And I'm going to move you guys just a little bit further away. Bear with. That work? Hold on. Hi, you get to see me. That worked a little bit. I'll hold it up so you guys can see it better. See, I'm working on the bow. There we go. All I'm doing is fluffing it out. I want to make sure all my loops are loops and not squished down. Make sure my colors are evenly displaced on here, distributed. So you can see, here's my black and orange here and here. I have opposite bow, opposite tails. My green, spread it out. Same with the purple, spread it out so you can see all the colors. All right, so our tails got kind of a little wonky here, didn't we? So this is a tail that I want to come down a little bit like this, just to have it over, you know, like I said, the sign before. And it just makes it more part of the sign than just the sign sitting on top. Okay. We'll just fix these. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to hang this up on my wreath hanger behind me. And I'm going to do it so you guys can see it hung up. So let me just finish getting all these guys kind of adjusted back out here. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me move the hot glue gun so you can see better. And you know what we almost forgot? If we're going to put these guys in there. I don't know, I kind of like it the way it is, actually. I think these would be too much. I like it the way it is. I debated about putting those in, but I think it looks pretty just the way it is. Okay, so let me hang this up. Oops, wrong way, that ribbon. Okay. Okay, so here comes the finished product. Look at it. Isn't that pretty? It came out really cute. Okay, so thank you for coming to Nona's Nutty Crafts today. And until next time, you all have a nice day. Bye-bye.